Good morning. Remember today we're meeting again at 11:35. So I have your warm up for you. We are going to skip vocabulary because I really want to let you guys dive into the setting sun and the rolling world on your own, and then we'll come back together for the last 45 minutes of class and work on that Think Rich. So I want you for your warm up to think about what a rural area is. So on your warm up page, you're going to write down your answer. Remember, you can pause this video. So I'm going to go ahead and give you time to jot down or brainstorm your ideas about what a rural area is. All right, so now that you have your warm-up finished, today what we're going to do is close read the text, The Setting Sun in the Rolling World, which is in your OneNote binder, and we're going to use that Think Rich strategy to answer a question. And that question is, how is leaving home a rite of passage? So before we start, I want you to jot down your ideas. Just grab a sheet of paper. We're going to do a quick write. I want you to take 5 minutes to answer that question. The important thing about a quick write is that you write for the entire 5 minutes. Please use complete sentences because we're going to actually share these when we come back all together. So pause this video, take 5 minutes to answer the question, how is leaving home a rite of passage? All right, now that you have your brainstorm ideas before we read the text, I want to talk about the setting for a minute before we dive into the setting sun in the rolling world. So the setting sun in the rolling world is, the setting is in Zimbabwe, which is in Africa. So we are in this continent, and I want you to think about what you know about the continent of Africa. So we are actually right here. Zimbabwe is a small landlocked country towards the southern end of Africa. And if you're familiar with Zimbabwe, you know that there are parts of Zimbabwe that are, urban, and then some parts that are very rural. And as I had said before, the setting of our story is in a very rural part of Zimbabwe. So you've got big cities, like I just said, very urban, something that looks like Baltimore or Washington, D.C. with some palm trees. But then there's also rural parts of that small country. So as you can see, there's a huge contrast between the two areas, which means, there's a ton of different things different. Obviously here there's paved roads, so there's cars. Here you've got clay, dirt paths. We've got actual skyscrapers and structures. So people, are living a little bit better than in thatched roofs and huts. These buildings most likely have air conditioning because, to keep them cool, or at least fans and electricity. Down here in these rural villages, that they probably don't. Based on these two pictures, you can tell that the economy is probably a lot stronger than in these two rural areas. Here you see a woman doing hard labor with a child on her back. And that child doesn't look like he's very young either. So, that has to be a heavy load, bent over picking plants. So she doesn't even have like a tractor or anything like that. So I want you to, based on those pictures, to think about what challenges might be present in a rural community. And if you can, write them on the paper that you use for your quick write, because we're going to jot down, we're going to talk about these questions. So again, jot down your response. What challenges might be present in a rural community that looks like the one on the screen? All right, so I want to now make a connection to something that we are familiar with. We live in a rural area in the United States. So how do the rural areas in Zimbabwe then compare to those of the United States? And on your paper, just go ahead and jot down your answer. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a part of this clip, and it is actually a story of a woman in Zimbabwe. And as you're watching, I just want you to take note of some of the struggles that she faces and try to make connections between what you brainstormed and what you're seeing.
Mungu ndiyakashaya vana 6 vakomana 2 vasikana 4. Tide kukaja matombo iwaya. Tokatenda unotora toya nawo tounganidza pataunganidza totanga kuchipwanya kana tapwanya tomirira bhaya anouya kana azouya kana akatengesa dzimwe nguva togona kubirwa semaonero amaita kuti ndabirwa. Saka kazhinji kacho pamwe dzimwe nguva vanouya kuzotitorera matombo acho vanogona kungoti tutsotsa kuti titorera imwe mari votora iwo. Unoona mwana adzinga adzoka kumba apo matombo asati atengwa achiri akaungana. Saka ndo problem yatinayo. Tinogona kukacha matombo acho pamwe dzimwe nguva togona kuita 3 cubic kana kuti 4 cubic. Pa 4 cubic tinogona kuwana $8 pamwedzi nehafu. Kushuvira kutoshuvirawo kuti dai tikawano kubatsirikana kwakuti pamwe tingaite zvekungotengesawo kuti zvinenge zviri nyore kuti unohodha obva kutengesa pamwe zviri nyore because matombo yari kurwadza.
Alright, so we're going to stop there, and I want you to really think about some of those struggles that she faced. So on your paper, if you could jot down some of the struggles that she faced being in that rural area. Go ahead and pause this video here and do it now. Alright, now that you have your answer down, what I'm going to have you do is go into your small group learning, go into your team folder, and then go into the setting sun in the rolling world assignment. So your job is to close read the text, the setting sun, the rolling world, using that think rich strategy. We are going to do the annotating together. When we come together, your job now is to just complete that think part. So when you go in, remember you have your My document here. What you're going to do again is just complete the think part. So just this right here, we will complete the rich part together. Do not submit anything, just have it open for when we start, and I can't wait to see you guys at 11:35.